Hello and welcome to ET Auto. Today we are in discussion with Mr. David Wilker, Industrial Design Director at CNH, the maker of construction equipment and farm machinery. Welcome to ET Auto, sir.
Thank you very much. It's a great pleasure for me to be here today. It's really wonderful. I'm so happy to come back to India.
So, just wanted to understand, you have been in the industry for over 3 decades now. So, you started with automotive car design and now you're designing into, off-highway and construction equipments. So, how different has the journey been, from cars to now construction equipment? What is the difference in designing cars? Because as a customer, if I go and buy cars, the first thing I notice is a design or, the color probably from the outside. But construction equipments, that's more user based. So what might be the difference from the point of view of design?
Well, there's the method to design is no different. It's totally, absolutely the same as an automotive. What's different is that it's very customer orientated and function orientated. So when we design, we can't just sketch or design something pretty or nice. We really have to think about what we're doing, and we have to design designs that are appropriate, ergonomic, cost-effective. So there's a lot more thinking into design for agriculture and construction. It's not just style. It's very much no style. It's good industrial design. But the methods are the same, and in the end of the day, we want to produce machines that look good, feel good, be a pleasure to use. So our end result is not so different from automotive. But really the method to get there, we have to look into it deeply. We have to understand the needs and design for the customer and user.
Yeah. So according to you, what makes a good design? Probably the 3 factors that you consider first while designing a construction equipment or a tractor.
That's a great question. Wow, what makes a good design? I think simplicity. I think no add-ons. So simplicity, clean lines, function, design for function, and also long-lasting design, timeless design. So I think a good design is related to these elements. We used to say in automotive, but I think it also relates to agriculture construction. 3 lines. There should be 3 key lines, no more.
So you have earlier worked with Citroën and companies like Ford as well. Over the years, the technology has advanced a lot in these years. So how was it designing back then compared to now? Like during the process of designing, what all has changed over the years?
Wow, it's changed completely. It's changed for the better. Nowadays, it's very much integrated. So we're very integrated with ergonomics, with engineering. The technology of the way we share designs is much better, thanks to all the high-tech instruments that we use. It's very much done on 3D data with integrated use of engineering data today. When I started as a young designer many years ago, it was all by hand, which was a lot of fun. It was maybe more artistic, but certainly you couldn't get the results that we get today. We share things globally today. We share things with engineering teams. We share it with the brands. We have a chance really to get the best out of it thanks to the new technologies that we use.
So data is the king, as you mentioned. It is very important. But everything has its pros and cons. So what you might have observed some disadvantages or advantages of data. So how has that influenced your designing?
Well, I think, everything has its pros and cons, as you say. And maybe part of the negative could be that people have the chance to interact with designs. So anybody can become a designer today. But of course, we have to convince and show that from our knowledge and background, what is a good design and what is not a good design. And I think that's maybe more difficult today, and that's something that the designer needs to say. What's the right direction to go? Because it's so easy to have so many directions today. And once upon a time, that was a lot easier.
Also, like we are heading towards connected and autonomous and electric mobility going forward. And we have also seen, CNH has entered the EV portfolio in countries like US. So, what are your plans for India, and how different is it to design an ICE vehicle, an off-highway vehicle running on diesel, compared to, an electric vehicle, electric portfolio?
I think for designers, I take it from a design point of view. When we move to electrification or hybrid, it's a huge opportunity for designers because every change like this with technology and powertrain opens up an opportunity for designers. Our industrial design team, we live to change. When there's a chance to change something, it gives us a huge chance to move forward, to bring in new ideas, and also to make things better quality, longer lasting. So I think it's something that I welcome, and it's definitely coming to India. The whole reason we've got the India Tech Center here is to have all this knowledge globally under one roof in India, and that's why it's a big moment in design.
Also, you have plans to enter the EV segment in India probably in the next few years, like 2, 3 years. So how are you working on those designs? Probably like how is it different to design for an India market compared to Europe or US? Considering the infrastructure or the customer base, how different is it?
I think the difference would be just to know the market and look to the future of how the market will grow, and be very sure that we do cost-effective designs, but also not be trapped in the present. We need to be sure that we're looking to the future and the way the country will develop. So I think that that's the big difference. And of course, each country, India is quite specific. And of course, we're a global country, so we're a global company, so we design for all over the world. But it's very important to understand the local market here. That's why we have design also within the India Tech Center.
Yeah. So you are based, particularly like you're based out of Italy. And so just like to understand like how India contributes to your design team in the global portfolio.
Well, India contributes globally, actually. So the designers here don't only work on India projects, they work on global projects as well. The design team are small, but we're building up. So this is the beginning of something which is really going to grow. And our teams are based in Italy, Chicago in the USA, and here in India Tech Center. And the wish is to grow up the knowledge of the industrial design team, which goes hand in hand also with the virtual studio where we do all the virtual analysis as well. Yeah. It's a growing world, so it's all happening.
Do you think India has the capability to become your global design hub for CNH?
Absolutely, yeah. I think so, absolutely. It's definitely got the talent. It's we're also looking into design universities. We're looking at the talent locally because it's a world where there's so much talent. And I've seen it. I actually do a lot of projects also in Europe with design colleges. And I've seen a huge interest from Indian students in industrial design now and transportation design. So it's a real happening moment.
You have seen and worked across the design portfolio in the automotive industry. So talking about the students, like you mentioned, do you have any particular advice for the students entering the automotive design?
Well, yeah. So advice on automotive design would be, if that's what you want to do, you have to persevere, never give up. You can always get better, but never give up. And if you look beyond automotive, we show here with CNH Industrial that there's a world alternative to automotive design, which is equally as interesting, if not more, and it's an opportunity for young students to look beyond automotive. Yeah. And it's a similar kind of work, but it's actually probably better for the community.
Also, coming back to the India market, you mentioned about the EV portfolio, but are you also looking at other alternative fuel options or flex fuels like, we have seen them coming up in other segments of automotive?
Yeah, we're looking at methane, CNG, LNG. We've made connections and joint ventures now with companies doing LNG. in England. We built concept tractors and also production tractors on methane. So we're looking at alternative fuels, absolutely. So electrification is one. Hybrid electrification is definitely one for the larger tractors, and then the alternative fuels through methane.
Do you think alternative fuels like ethanol or hydrogen might work in this industry?
Hydrogen may. It's not something that we've gone into much so far, but it could. I know in the on-road, it's definitely a big thing. But I think we're open to really looking into all the alternatives out there, because it's definitely a moment where we need to look after the world, look after the climate, the sustainability. So I think the research into alternative fuels is a key to our company.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Wilkie. Thank you for talking to ET Auto, and thanks for this candid conversation.
No, thank you so much. It's been a great pleasure for me. Thank you.
Thank you.